Hello there, this is a Dyson Wash G1 that we're going to have a look at today. It's a hard floor cleaner, obviously made by Dyson, purportedly. And this one is one that's come in here for repair. And we don't see that many of these because I don't believe there's that many sold in the UK. Because obviously, as we know now, Dyson is an Asian tech company and they make most of their products with the Asian market in mind. And the Asian market tends to have hard floors. Often tiled floors or some type of composite, what we might think of looks a bit like lino, but it's not lino. But they have hard floors, so stuff like this is good for them. Less so perhaps on our laminated floors, certainly if they're not made of real wood, because water can damage them, as we know, and get down into the cracks. But anyway, we're going to see. That's one of the questions if you use something like a steamer, isn't it? If you use one of these steam mops, some of them leave too much water behind on laminate floors, some of them don't, depends how good they are. So we're going to have a closer look at this, and I'll tell you a bit about what we've done to it, and we'll look at its self-cleaning feature, and we'll look at other things. So it's a cordless machine, so there's this little base station there. We will have a closer look at the actual underside of it and what have you. But it came in here for a repair. It wasn't working properly. We had a look at it, we sorted it out, we give it a bit of a service, and it needed two parts. And have a look at these. These are not that well made. This is a little carriage from underneath. This thing here tends to go weak, which is really no good at all. And you know, we bought some new ones and put them in stock, and the new ones are not much better. I'd expect a little bit better at Dyson. And if you have a look at this, this is the central part that goes here, that the two tanks go into. So this part has these little two release things. This one broke off because this screws into almost nothing. Again, really not the kind of design and build quality that you would expect from Dyson. So let's go and take this to a hard floor, because we haven't got one in here. We'll take it to a hard floor, and then we'll come back at the end. Just before we floor test it, we're going to have a closer look at it. So with two tanks here, we've got one for the clean water, and it looks like someone's been using detergent in that because it's all cloudy, and the dirty water collects in here. The two tanks are removed like so. I mean, that's leaking already. You see what I mean about the look at that. This is not optimum build quality, is it? You'd expect better from a Vacs. If we have a look underneath it, if I turn it towards you there, so you've got two rollers here, and this carriage thing I spoke about. Make your own mind up. What do you think? So you've got those two rollers. You've got some secondary rollers here that look like pretty standard Dyson brush rolls, don't they? It gets much. I mean, we cleaned all this out actually. We have tested it, of course, and it does get mucky pretty quick. But I suppose that's to be expected with something that's. So that is kind of that. If you look at the recline mechanism. Now, I recall reading somewhere that these things are made by a Chinese firm on behalf of Dyson. If that's true or not, I don't know. If you know, stick it in the comments. Oh, in fact, actually, as well, when we go to use it, when we go on the control up here, when we turn it on, there's all sorts of stuff that you can do. How much water you want to use, I guess. I've not read the instruction manual yet. We'll be playing with it. It's got a self-cleaning mode, which is actually quite good, the self-cleaning mode. We have tried that. So after you've used it, it looks like the woman who has it never bothered doing it. So we have to do it about 6 times to get it anything like. And you fill it up with water, and the things turn. You bung it in the base like this, and the brushes turn on their own, and just fills up with dirty water from the brushes, so it cleans itself. That is quite a good bit of innovation, isn't it? That docking station there, nothing special. A charger plugs into it. It's not the same, of course, as any of the chargers for the Dyson cordless vacuums, because Dyson love to make everything different to make it harder for the aftermarket. But that's that. What do you think? Let's go and try it. So here we are, we've got a hard floor. This is a Carndine floor. We've got it charged up. I've bunged in there a little bit of Dettol in with the water. Whether you're supposed to or not, I don't know, because I've not read the instruction book, because blokes don't do that, do they? So we're going to give it a bit of a whirl and see what happens. So what we have at the moment is a wet floor. We're going to have a closer look what's happened up to now. So this is a minute or two later, and the floor is still actually, you know, still quite wet. So it doesn't dry like a steam mop would, of course, because it's not steam, because this isn't heated. So I said we've got some Dettol in there. Yes, you can see we've got mucky water in there, so it is actually cleaning. It's doing the job, isn't it? So as a cleaner, it's probably quite good, but I'm going to try it a little bit more. Now, as you can see here, you can turn the water to different amounts. I've been running this on minimum. So what we do have, as you can see, if you have a look at the floor here, we do have a wet floor. And so for this type of floor, it's okay, but this isn't much different to if you'd have mopped it with a traditional mop and a mop bucket. So I don't think it's got the edge on a steamer, because I don't think I'd be too pleased using that on laminate floors that are prone to damage by moisture getting into the cracks. But yes, I mean, it is a very effective thing. If you just have a look how dirty that water is in there. And we've done just half of a small kitchen floor, which has probably not been, I don't know when it was last mopped, a couple of days perhaps. So, I mean, that's done a pretty good job. So I'm going to show you how the self-cleaning feature works on it. I'm going to show you something on the menu here on the handle. See, we've got there the amount of water. You can change that. If you hold the button, roller life, language, serial numbers, hydration sensitivity. There's also a few other options in there. So when it's charged up and got water in, you've got self-clean there. So this is the self-clean bit in action going on. The brushes are turning down there. And that's what we see on the screen. So that was the self-clean. Now these apparently were launched in 2023 in China. So like I said earlier on in the video, Dyson tends to aim their new products at the Asian markets. And if it's something that they think they can sell here as well, then they'll bring it here kind of as an afterthought, really. For me, that's what this is. If you've got, because not that many people in the UK have very, very solid floors or tiled floors or a big area of Carndine. You would usually have it sort of in a kitchen like this, and we would have carpet or sort of for some people, obviously, or some kind of wood or laminate or something else throughout the rest of the house. Now for me, I think even on the minimum water setting, I think this leaves a little bit too much water behind for me to confidently want to use it on laminated floors or wood floors, on tiles or Candine or solid floors like this, or solid floors like they tend to have in Asian apartments. It's absolutely fine as long as it's just the same as having mopped it really. You'll mop it, it's wet, you walk away for a few minutes, let it dry on its own. For that, it's fine. For average laminate floors, I think probably not for me. And I think that's probably why we don't see too many of them. But it's done a reasonable job. And I like the self-cleaning feature. And you can see that now after the cleaning, there's a lot of muck gone into the water as well off the brushes. So in terms of lifting dirt off the floor, it's very, very effective. Is it any more effective than a mop and bucket? Probably not, but you know, it's a piece of consumer tech, isn't it? It's a gadget. So yeah, it works, it's okay. I actually quite like it, despite the slightly flimsy build quality. I quite like the tech in it. It's a bit fiddly to get it on self-clean. You have to play around. I had to play around with it for a few minutes to figure out how to make that work. That might be why the lady who owns it's never done it. We'll show her how to do it. But that's it. So yeah, it's not a 10 out of 10 really for me, this. The mop markets, the electric mop market, let's call it, in China is owned by 2 or 3 brands. Tineco, I think, is the biggest one. So this feels like a little bit of a Me Too product for Dyson when they launched this into China. And the fact that they launched it into China first tells us really what market they're aiming it at. But it's an interesting little thing, isn't it? And now we've had a look at it, let's go back to the showroom. So that is the Dyson Wash G1. What do you think of it? Would you buy one? There is a newer version of this out now, but it's pretty much along the same lines. They're a few £100, obviously, because nothing of Dyson's is cheap. But now having seen it, and having seen it close up, and having seen a little bit of the build quality, what do you think about it? Stick your comments down below if you've got an opinion. If you like Dyson, or you're interested in Dyson technology, I'm going to bung a couple of videos down on the side now. If you're watching this on YouTube, you may be interested in other Dyson videos that we've done. Please like, don't forget to subscribe, and for everything Dyson and everything SEMO, I'll see you next time.
Manchester